Hello my fellow book addicts, Megan here, and time for another book review. Today, I'm going to be talking about The Ruby Circle by Richelle Mead, and this is the final book in the Bloodline series. And oh my god, what an amazing book this was. I thought it was a great conclusion to an excellent series. Though, a lot of things hit me right in the feels. Just looking back on all these characters and how much they have changed since we first met them, especially Adrian and Sydney. Their development was just amazing. Just totally amazing. If you told me that Sydney was going to end up how she has in this book, when we first met her in Vampire Academy, I probably would have laughed. I really would have laughed. And, same with Adrian. If you had told me that, he was going to end up how things did in this book, I probably would have, given you a really skeptical look. So yeah, I really like that change. So, other than saying this was an amazing conclusion, and if you have not read this for whatever reason, you need to, that's really all I can say without giving spoilers. So, yeah, if you have not read The Ruby Circle yet, I suggest you click away now and come back after you read the book. So yeah, this book, picks up roughly a month after Silver Shadows. Adrian and Sydney are, hiding out at the Moroi court, to stay safe from the alchemists, because the alchemists aren't too happy with Sydney, from escaping re-education and then marrying Adrian. So, yeah, they aren't happy with Sydney, and if she leaves court, they are gonna snatch her up and probably send her back to re-education, which is not good. And Jill is still missing, and no one has any clue on what the hell happened to her. We don't know who has her yet. We have no way of tracking her. Adrian's tried to find her through spirit dreams, but she's probably drugged, so he can't find her. Cindy's magic can't find her. Lissa has no idea what to do. They're basically planning things by ear. And this is driving poor Adrian and Sydney insane, because they feel horrible about this. But, they can't really do much from court, for obvious reasons. And poor Sydney isn't being treated too well at court. She's basically locking herself up in her and Adrian's room, because of all the looks and gossip, because, oh my god, a Moroi vampire married a human, and an alchemist no less, so it's like, they got quite a bit of drama going on there. But thankfully, things pick up a little bit. Mrs. Terwilliger, randomly shows up at court. Apparently a box was sent to her, and she can't open it for whatever, and she has a feeling that it's for Sydney. Lo and behold, Sydney is able to open it, and they get a clue on a possible location for where Jill is. And they're thrilled. This is the first lead they've had in ages, but they are hesitant to bring this to Lissa because Sydney feels that she is going to be the only one who's able to, do whatever needs to be done at that location. So, and, no way Sydney is going to be able to leave court, so they make plans to sneak her out. And the fact that how willing she was to turn into a cat to be snuck out was fantastic. Like I said before, if you had told me that Miss, Prim and Proper, Miss Magic is Evil that we met in Vampire Academy was gonna be willing to turn into a cat, I would have laughed. But no, this is character development at its finest, people. Someone who grew up being terrified of magic, and who we've seen be terrified of magic, is now very freely and willingly using that kind of magic on herself. So yeah, Miss Terwilliger, Sydney, and Eddie go off on this little scavenger hunt of magic to try and figure out where the hell Jill is. And eventually, Adrian manages to sneak out to help them. And I just gotta say, I love the little side plot with, Nina and Olive. Olive ran off in the last book, if y'all remember, and The little tidbit we learned about her, the fact that she is pregnant, just blew my mind away. I honestly did not see that coming, especially when we find out who the father is. Neil. And like, in the Vampire Academy series, we established very early on that Dampierres cannot have children together. It's genetically impossible. Between everyone, we kind of figured that it has something to do with Olive being a restored Strigoi. So that kind of changed things up a little bit for her. So yeah, I was really kind of sad to see, like, that she did get killed. That was pretty depressing. Despite the fact that she was a pretty minor-ish character in the series overall. But, that was still sad. She just had her baby, and he then was killed by a Strigoi, and she's asking Adrian to, look after the kid, and to let Neil know. And when I wanted to strangle Neil at one point, him being so adamantly against, like, even seeing the kid, he actually would love to be in this poor little kid's life, but Olive was terrified of, anyone finding out about the kid, because he's basically the result of spirit. So he's not going to be a normal kid. It's highly doubtful he's going to be a normal kid. And she wants to keep that on the down low, because she's afraid, like, the Moroi or the alchemists are going to take him away and, like, experiment on him, and she doesn't want that for him. So Neil, kind of getting this gist himself, is like, no one can connect that kid to me. Because who knows, some point down the road, someone might realize that he looks like me. And if they know he's Olive's kid, and they put those two pieces together somehow, then, I can't pronounce the name right, it's like Declan, I think. He's gonna be at risk. So, in the meantime, Cindy and Adrian are just, like, trying to take things one step at a time. First, they want to make sure that the kid's taken care of, and they're still trying to rescue Jill, who they find out is currently being held by the Warriors. And, oh my god, Cindy blackmailing the alchemists was pure gold. It was pure gold. Cindy, you are a badass. And her actually blackmailing her dad, too, to let, like, her little sister see her mom still. Make him, like, change up the conditions of the divorce. That was just glorious. Like, if Sydney wasn't already one of my favorite female characters, she would be now. That just, like, cemented her place as one of my favorite characters. You don't mess with Sydney Sage. You don't. So they rescued Jill. Sydney manages to make peace with the alchemists, kinda. She manages to make it so they would leave her alone. And, there's possibilities, there are steps being taken to totally get rid of re-education, which is a huge plus. She manages to get, like, immunity for all the other people who escaped re-education, and, she managed to help her little sister out, which is, all in all a huge win, all while saving Jill in the process. Just all around a huge win for Sydney. And the end, oh my god, the end. Sydney and Adrian more or less adopt Declan, and they're raising him as his own, because, they figured, well, any kids that we end up having in the future would be Dampierres too, half Moroi, half human. So people wouldn't really question too much why we have a Dampierre kid. And, the fewer people who know about his parentage overall, the better. So the only ones who really know are Sydney, Adrian, Dimitri, and Rose. And, Sydney is going to college like she's always wanted to. Adrian is back on meds so that spirit won't be bothering him anymore, which is a huge relief because earlier, before the end, he almost lets it overwhelm him, and that was horrifying. That has been one of my biggest fears for him since this series began. Him totally losing himself to spirit. Just like, that thought was painful. And he almost succumbed to it, and Sydney saved him, and it's like, oh my god, thank god you're on meds, because I don't think my heart could take the idea of that happening to you again. And he's actually, you know, teaching art, of course, but he's teaching and just, oh my god, it's fabulous just how this whole thing is wrapped up, and it's such a happy ending all around. Eddie and Jill are a couple now too, and it's just like, it's, my shipper heart is so happy. Just all in all, this was such a fabulous conclusion to an awesome series. And I'm really sad that it's over, but I'm kind of glad it stopped at this point, because it really couldn't get much better than this. Though, you know, of course I wouldn't mind a spin-off from someone else's point of view. And, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, more of, you know, Rose's and Dimitri's life, Declan getting older, and just seeing more of Adrian and Sydney, and just more of things overall. See if Sonia manages to, like, get more progress on this vaccine against the Strigoi. Just, I wouldn't mind seeing more of these awesome characters. But, you know, I'm content with how things ended for now. So yeah, that's it for my thoughts on this, and yeah, that's it for this review, and I hope to see you guys next time. Keep on reading, my fellow book addicts. Keep on reading.